That's weird. What? That's crazy. You already know what time it is, man. Americans finding weird things about Europe on a daily basis. And it's interesting because there's some things that they bring up that I'm like, man, I guess that is a little strange. I brought up a lot of things in the past, the typical, okay, you have to pay for the bathroom, or oh my God, the bottles have like the little attachments so that the caps don't come off, and other little things like, oh, the streets are real narrow, so cars really can't navigate through them in my mind. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I've found that were a bit strange, but when I look at other Americans' experiences, I'm like, oh, okay, like I guess that's also kind of weird too, but then people from Europe are like, yo, that's not weird. You guys just don't have your stuff together. And it's just a different environment altogether. So if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already.
I'm starting a new series called Weird Things About Europe, and this is part one. We're starting off strong
Okay.
with public restrooms. What's weird about this, you ask? They are completely enclosed. No stalls. I mean, it's a stall, right? But there's no like space under the stalls or anything.
Hold up. Wait. That's weird. I think that's a plus. I think it's weird that we have stalls that reveal everything from the top of your knee down. That to me is strange. Okay, I've always found that to be a bit strange. Like, why even have a stall if you can see everybody through them? You know what I mean? And even the cracks when the stall door closes, you can see straight into that thing. So this is a plus. They actually have these out here in Korea too. Like the stalls feel private actually, you know? Like I think that's not weird. That's actually a really cool discovery because why don't we have that in America? They always say it's a fire hazard, but that's bullshit, bro. Like I don't think it's a fire hazard. Matter of fact, if we do create that to combat that, right? There could be a way where we could like kick in or kick out the door or something from the inside so you can escape. Maybe there should be like an emergency lever or something from the inside so you can get out no matter what. But like, bro, like, yeah, it's weird that the fucking stalls come up like 4 meters off the ground in the United States. If you guys know what I'm talking about, if you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, I've never heard a complaint like that.
And I don't know about you, but I really love that considering I don't want to see like your little footsies like pop.
Okay, I was misinterpreting what she said. I thought she was pointing that out as a bad weird thing. That is a good weird thing. I'm glad she acknowledged that because I almost crashed out. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, that's a good thing, yo.
Trying to take a shit in a public bathroom or whatever, you know, nice privacy.
Yeah.
Makes me feel calm. I get to separate from the world a little bit.
It's cool, yeah.
Oh, an honorable mention. I've only seen this once, but these towels, right? This is a piece of cloth.
Oh.
And it took me like 40 minutes to figure out how to work this the first time I was going like this.
So I'm not gonna lie, I would have been confused working this as well, because what is that? Like, I would bust out scissors or a pocket knife and just cut the the paper towel at that point. Because I'm like, is it stuck? Is the machine broken? What's going on?
You can actually pull it out.
Oh.
And then I guess they reuse it. Honorable mention. Okay.
Hold on, that looks like any other paper towel dispenser. It's just the way they have it tucked is different. Huh. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and see what the comments have to say. You should call this series Americans Discovering Things That Are Weird in America. Valid. Very valid, because obviously that's not something weird in Europe. But being in Europe as an American expat / tourist, it's weird for us. So I kind of get what she was trying to do there. But yeah, our next comment says, why do you keep saying it's weird, yet it's a good thing? That's exactly what threw me off. So you guys understand where my crash out came from, right? Because she's like, you know what's weird? The bathrooms are totally private. And I'm like, what? That's not weird. That's a good thing. Maybe she could have used a better choice of words because weird is a connotation a lot of times it's associated with being bad. Like, I think it's weird that people have to pay to go to the bathroom in Europe, right? Anywhere for that matter. Why do you have to pay to use the restroom? Unless it's some divine toilet or some divine bathroom experience, why are you paying to go to a public restroom? That doesn't make any sense. That would be weird. American stalls are weird, and that's putting it lightly. But we have a lot more of these. Let's go ahead and see what's next up on the chopping block.
If there is one thing that living in Europe taught me as an American, it is that we as Americans are way too weird and uptight about our own bodies. The first time I went to the naked sauna, where you go there and you're naked with all the naked Germans in the sauna, I thought there was going to be creepy people. Turns out it is the least exciting situation you can possibly imagine to be dying of sweat amongst oppas and omis on their little towels beside you. I thought I was going to feel weird the whole time, but I very quickly realized that no one cared. No one was looking at me, and it didn't have to be weird. And that changed me. It opened my pores and my mind. Basically, what I'm getting at is that we should all be a little less uptight about our bodies. And the
I think that a lot of that has to do with America having this very prude mentality spawning from like our Christian beliefs. Now, I'm not saying everybody in the United States is Christian, right? I'm not even saying the vast majority of people in America are Christian. While that might be the case, I can say that it has influenced politics in the United States in the way that culturally most Americans operate, right? And you could see that interwoven with our Constitution and things of the sort, but that also trickles into morals and our ethics and stuff like that, I guess, that, you know, as a society, we like to portray. It's very weird, right? Because you have people that show every bit of skin out there and stuff, and they don't give a care in the world. But on the flip side, we're notorious for over-sexualizing the human body, right? So something I noticed when I went to Germany for my first time, I saw a lot of adult ads all over the place, just out in the open, right? Not hidden, not discreet, just out in the open. Like you could see that next to a popular restaurant, a popular hotel, or a grocery store. And I'm like, whoa, that's a little jarring, right? Because coming from a place where people are very prudish about the human body and stuff like that, I don't think Americans can handle that. Us being able to acknowledge that a human body is just a human body seems to be a tall task for us, unfortunately, right? Unfortunately. So when you see something like this, where you're able to be in an environment where people are able to be mature adults about just being in your birthday suit, right? In saunas or at the FKK beaches, right? The Freikorper, something, I think it's like the FKP, like the Freikorper party or whatever, something like that. Something like the FKK beaches. You know what I'm talking about? Like where people are just out there, nude beaches. They're just adults. Like they walk around and they're chilling. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of very, I don't know, just like creepy connotations that come with being prudish and whatnot. Cause it's like, oh, like your mind's already in the gutter. You know what I mean? So it's so refreshing to be around people that genuinely don't care. They just don't give a fuck. It's cool. So I'm glad she got to experience this culture shock, because this is a little strange. You know what I mean? Like it's strange for us to like see and experience people that don't make your own body a big deal.
People at Balesa have been preaching this for years. These are the people that made the rose. You know the one, the rose. Mm-hmm. And I'm partnering with them.
Oh!
I bet you didn't see that coming. In the spirit of that, I'm doing a giveaway where every single...
All right, anyway. Alright, man. Yo, I did not see that coming either. Anyways, that video got real freaky real quick. Let's just check out these damn comments, man. What's the rose? Do your research and you'll be very surprised. Very surprised. But lots of people love it. Lots of people enjoy it. My German family didn't let me go to the German sauna for 6 months because they didn't want me to have so much culture shocks at once. I could see how that would be overwhelming, right? They were low-key saving you from you being the only one freaking out in that sauna. It's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been a lot. That would have been a lot. There was already a lot going on for you, I could imagine, right? There was a lot of things. Like for me, getting to Germany for the first time, there were so many things that I had reacted to and read about and heard about through friends that I was still experiencing in real time. And it was a bit overwhelming at first. I was ready for it, but it was a little overwhelming. So jumping off the deep end and going to a sauna and having that experience too would have been also another added thing. And so you might have been like, you know, just completely overwhelmed. German sauna, my eye. You should come visit Finland now that you're nearby. That's the real thing. What exactly is the difference between a Finnish sauna and a German sauna? I mean, aren't they basically similar? I did watch a video recently of this lady that was saying that she went to this apartment complex. Like she walked like a little bit to go to this apartment complex that had saunas that were embedded in the apartment complexes. And I'm not sure if I understood what she was saying. It was of my understanding that she said that people use the saunas all the time. And like, I guess there are like community saunas that people use. use, but like a lot of them are inside of other people's apartments. So I'm not sure if she had a special key for the sauna for that particular apartment. Maybe it was a friend she knew or something. I just need one of you guys to explain the sauna process in Finland, because I don't know what that's like. I misunderstood the video clearly, and what makes the difference between a German sauna and a Finnish sauna, because I honestly know that there's differences now that that's brought up, but like it's got to be diabolical if this individual is talking about the difference between the two.
I'm an American living in Switzerland, and there are some things that are considered normal here that I find very weird. Number one, it is quite literally illegal to make too much noise on a Sunday, and this isn't just like watching your TV too loud or playing music really loud. This includes things like vacuuming and washing clothes.
Okay, that's similar to Germany. I've heard of that and stuff. That was a little strange to me at first, but thinking deeper into it, right, I'm like, okay, it's not that weird. It's honestly not that weird. I mean, I can see how that's weird for like people traveling for the first time, because we're used to taking care of our business whenever it's convenient for us, right? For instance, a lot of times I've noticed, like for a lot of Americans, the top of the week, like Sundays, are typically the days that you get ready for the rest of the week. So let's say Monday through Saturday, you don't have time to clean your apartment, you don't have time to tidy up. You typically save that for Sunday. Sunday, that's when you do your deep cleaning. That's when you do your grocery shopping. That's where you mow your lawn and all that other craziness, right? So I can see how that would be a little shocking for people that have never experienced like quiet hours during the daytime as well. Specifically like on a Sunday, I can see that being strange. In fact, I have a friend of mine that is going to go to Germany to live there for a little bit. And I told him, I'm like, hey, like I know you love, bumping music and taking care of all your tasks on Sunday, but I would move that to Saturday instead, because they have rules out there. And if you violate those rules, at least in Deutschland, the Ordnungsamt gonna be on that ass.
People will literally call the police. Number two has to do with the recycling system. Switzerland has a very intense recycling system, which I think is great, but there is something that I find a bit odd. This has to do with specifically recycling cardboard, and I don't know if this is applicable everywhere in Switzerland, but
listen, bro, that's the same in Germany too. I was super confused. I was so confused. I'm gonna ask this same question I've asked 1,000,004 times. I need you guys to clarify in the comment section right now, okay? The question, because I did my German camper tour last year and stuff like that, and then at the end of it, we were recycling a whole bunch of stuff, and then we got into this little debacle, right? Because mind you, the people I was traveling with, the only American there was me. Everybody else was German. And I'm like, okay, so if I have like food containers that came in cardboard coverings and stuff like that, do I throw the cardboard in the cardboard recycling, or does that now become like regular waste, like general waste? Do I just put that there? Because like I could imagine sorting through cardboard and seeing like food gunk stuck to that. That's not fun, and people would probably appreciate you putting that in general waste versus putting it in the cardboard. But I have no idea. I'm just the guy at the end of the day, and that's why I'm asking this question.
I live in Zurich, and it's applicable here. Unlike a lot of things where they have actual just collection points, for cardboard specifically, they pick it up every 2 weeks, and they expect you to flatten it, like break the cardboard down and put it into a little nice neat pile and tie it with a bow. I just think it's funny and kind of cute.
See, that's interesting. That's some Disney type stuff right there, man. That's cool. That's cool. That's a little strange. I ain't gonna lie. It's a little strange. Like, we didn't pick it up. You didn't put a bow tie on the on the pile of cardboard. But I think the reason why they want you to tie it up is so that the cardboard doesn't blow all over the place, right? It doesn't get scattered across the street and it becomes an inconvenience to the public. So that does make a lot of sense.
They expect you to tie it as if it's a little present. Number three is that all grocery stores are closed on Sundays, which means if you don't do your shopping on Saturday,
you might as well say Switzerland, Deutschland, dog, because they got the same culture shocks. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know Switzerland operated the same way. That's so wild. And they're neighbors. So of course that makes sense. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I'm not, if this is exactly what I think this is, then maybe also in Switzerland, the kiosks are still open. So like all of the major grocery stores and restaurants and stuff like that might be closed. And then the kiosks are open, like convenience stores and stuff. So if you really want to get something to eat or whatever, you can go there. If you go to airports, they obviously the stuff in there is open. But yeah, that's interesting.
You're not going to eat on Sunday because a lot of restaurants are also closed. Mm-hmm. Number four, every region of Switzerland has its own flag, and on all of the flags that have animals, they're drawn with visible junk.
That's weird. What? That's crazy. That is crazy. What's the reason for that?
I'm so serious. Look it up. Number five, unless you have a valid excuse, all Swiss citizens are actually expected to participate in military duty. Like basically a draft.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, I do have a question, because there are a lot of striking similarities between Switzerland and Germany. In Germany, is there an obligation to serve for 2 years? I don't think there is, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's an obligation for people to serve 2 years in the military. But Switzerland, and a few other European countries, there is an obligation for the citizens to do that. So let me know if that's the same in Germany or not. That's pretty interesting. She definitely had a lot of interesting things I've never heard before. I'm like, what? Like tying the cardboard with a bow? Like, huh? Now, I was over here talking about like, okay, does the cardboard go in general waste, or, the cardboard recycling, blah, blah, blah. No, she's talking about how they how you dispose of cardboard and stuff like that, because it has its own day where it gets picked up. Now, I'm not sure if that's the same thing in Germany. I didn't stay out there long enough to see like the different days that different items got picked up. I do know that there are designated days for different things, but the cardboard waste bin literally is a waste bin for cardboard in Germany, if I'm not mistaken, because I did put it in a waste bin. So if I messed up, and I said waste bin, I meant recycling bin. You know what I meant. Let's go ahead and look at these comments, because again, the comments went crazy. I know you guys are going crazy in the comments. I really appreciate you guys being super active. I've been trying to reply to as many as I can. Military isn't obligatory for anyone. Women can, but don't have to go. And men can pick between military service or social service. That's actually pretty interesting, because I thought that it was like you have to do this. It's like a do or die like thing that every citizen has to partake in. I think Italy has something like that too, because my friend's parents are both from Italy, and I remember talking to his dad, and he said that he had to serve for 2 years in the Italian military or whatever. So I'm wondering if that is in Italy, it works the same way, where like you can pick between the military or something else, or you have to serve in the military for minimum 2 years and stuff. Korea, it's the same way, by the way. So if you're a Korean citizen, you have to serve in the Korean military for 2 years. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of the BTS members having to do that recently. And yes, it was very interesting hearing about that. Girl, please don't think I'm a psycho, but I'm an American girl living in Bern, and I'm struggling to make friends here. If you ever want to grab coffee, let me know. I will totally take the train to Zurich to talk to someone who isn't my husband, LOL. One of the things that is always an issue for American expats wherever they travel is making friends, right? It's easier in some places than others, but throughout Europe, I've noticed that a lot of American expats do complain about making friends. And I really just think you have to find the right setting, because throughout Europe, the people in general, I mean, if I'm generalizing the entire continent, a little bit more cold than Americans throughout the United States of America. So the approach is very different, right? I think that if there is a you have some type of pre-connection with maybe one person over there, they can be your gateway to meeting more people. But that's the problem. Like, how do you meet people anyways? Initially, right? I think you'd have to join clubs. I think that's really a thing over there. Like, you have to join clubs or be a part of something to make genuine friends. Otherwise, I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below. I know in Germany, small talk is not a thing, but is there any European country where small talk is welcomed and can possibly lead to a friendship? If not, then what ways would you guys recommend making friends? Sunday is an important rest day in Swiss culture, so it's why noise is not tolerated, just for respect. Yeah, it's very similar to German culture as well, where everybody really respects Sundays as the quiet days and stuff like that. The days where people can actually relax and rest. And this makes a lot of sense since, in general, the common denominator throughout all of Europe is they want to take care of people so they can enjoy their personal lives, right? And you want to go into the top of the work week fully recharged so you don't feel like you're working like a zombie.
European things Americans think are weird.
Kissing as a greeting doesn't happen much in the USA, while in Europe it's pretty standard. Italy, Spain, Greece, and Portugal kiss once on the cheek, while in France it's both cheeks and can sometimes be 3 or 4 times. In the USA, we don't do this. Typically, you might raise a hand, give a handshake or a fist bump, or if you're closer, you might hug. How do you greet someone?
You know what? That is crazy. So when I first saw this, I think it was like in a movie when I was a kid, and I saw like these 2 guys in Europe do the kiss on the cheek and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the heck, bro? What's going on? Like, that's a greeting? That's a greeting, bro? Like, somebody that you don't know like that for real, you just be kissing them on the cheeks and stuff. Like, that's crazy. That is crazy. But again, different cultural norms for different areas, right? It's so weird because I guess I still have a question to ask you guys, right? I was asking about like how you guys make friends in any country in Europe, and it's going to vary from country to country because the cultures are so different. But specifically for the countries where you kiss people on the cheeks and stuff like that, that came out wild, bro. You don't know what I meant. So for the So for the countries where you kiss people on the cheeks, is it easier to make friends? Because I mean, that's pretty intimate, man. Like getting close and putting your lips on people's cheeks, that's kind of crazy. Try this in Northern Europe and you'll get a slap. I swear, Northern Europe seems like dawn of the introverts, okay? Northern Europe is basically introvert haven. If you do that, you might walk away from that situation with no lips. Not fun. Not fun. You'll look like one of the zombies from The Walking Dead. You'll be missing your lower jaw, dog. It's not going to be a good time. In Albania, it's 4 check kisses from the elderly people and 2 check kisses from the people who are younger. That's too many kisses, bro. How about let's just do a handshake? Okay. How about that? How about a little... wait, how about that? A bro fist. How about a bro fist? That's fine. This is a nightmare for all Nordic countries. I'm a Finn. Honestly, I don't greet people. If I do, it's just a simple hello. And again, this is one of those situations where, you know, Europe is very vast. It's a continent at the end of the day, right? There are so many different countries, and with those different countries, there's a plethora of cultures. So if you try that kissing stuff up north, I promise you might come back in a box, okay?
I need a British person or a European person to freaking teach me how to use this thing, because when I moved here I was like, oh my god, a towel warmer, that's so posh. Turns out the thing is useless. I will turn it on before I get in the shower. So here I am showering, come out, grab my towel, it's not warm. What am I missing here? Am I supposed to leave the thing on all day long?
I think so. I don't know how to use one of those. I don't have one of those. I'm in Korea, so I don't have it. I have floor heating, but I don't have towel warmers. That actually sounds pretty cool. I mean, imagine getting out of the shower. I'm saying this, and most of y'all watching this video are about to be like, well, we don't have to imagine it. We literally have towel warmers, James. Like, okay. So I'm imagining getting out of the shower and stuff and taking my towel off the towel warmer and bundling up and being like, oh my God, especially when like it's cold like it is now. That's awesome. So let me let her finish her piece real quick.
That just feels like fire hazard. Also, feels like wasting a lot of energy. Utilities are really high in the UK, so cannot afford. But I have seen so many of these in different people's homes, and I don't understand. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe you are supposed to leave it on all day. Maybe it doesn't use as much energy as I feel like it does. Someone give me a tutorial though, like, help. What am I doing wrong? And don't even get me started on where do you guys do your hair at if there are no plugs in the bathroom? Where are we supposed to be doing our hair? I will take the risk of getting electrocuted. That's a whole other video.
Well, if you guys have any helpful bits of advice, please let me know in the comments down below, because these are valid questions. How do you turn that thing on? A. B. Where does she do her hair if there's no plug outlets in the bathroom? Maybe there's like some type of foyer somewhere else you can set up in the hallway or something, because I think a lot of plug outlets are like elsewhere, so that could be a thing. But let's see what the comments have to say. Our first comment says, I think it's a normal heater, so I think it takes a while to get warm. It's not specially designed for your towels. So what you're telling me is that heater that you pointed to on the wall in the bathroom actually heats up the entire house, or am I wrong? Does that just heat up the bathroom, or does that heat up the whole house? That's a lot of bars and stuff for it to just be heating up the damn bathroom. These are more often used to dry your towels afterward rather than warming them before use, I'd reckon. If connected to plumbing, check for air. Pretty useful advice. I'll keep that in mind if I ever go to the UK. That's a radiator. Oh. That would make sense.
As an American who has been in Spain for the last 2 weeks, these are my observations that stick out the most to me. The 24 hours that y'all have in a day here in Spain and in Europe as a whole is much different than the 24 hours that we have in the US. Let me explain. In the US, we go to work, we clock out, we go to the gym, maybe, we come home, we watch a little show, and we eat our little dinner, and then we go to sleep.
Yes, that's facts. That's my day described perfectly. I go to work, I come home, I edit videos, I hit the gym, I eat a little din-din, and I take my goofy butt to sleep. But how y'all spend the time in Europe?
Here in Europe, people clock out of work. That's when their day actually starts. They're meeting up with their friends. They're meeting up with family. They're sitting at tables outside for hours. The sun goes down. They're still out for 5 more hours after that. I feel like you guys live multiple days in one every single day. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. You guys are outside. Pretty much.
I call that productivity maxing, man. You guys are the #1 peoples when it comes to productivity maxing. You work hard and you enjoy life hard, which is really cool. Because I do think that by the time you hit your old age, you can look back, reflect, and go like, yeah, I did a whole lot. I'm very satisfied with how I lived my life. But for the average American, that is not the case. We are very dissatisfied with how we lived our lives because we spent 75% of it working ourselves to death. And because we worked ourselves damn near to death, we have to rest after we get off work. And so it's almost like we spend most of our day working, and when we get home we have to recharge our batteries, so we're either watching a little TV, sleeping, or just sleeping, and then we wake up, wash, rinse, repeat.
Everybody here smokes cigarettes, and for some reason it doesn't bother me as much. You want to know why? Because I see a 90-year-old woman chain smoking a cigarette here with more pep in her step than a 60-year-old woman in the US. You want to know why? A couple things. One, they're active. They're outside, they're getting their steps in. Two, higher quality foods.
Yes.
Access to better ingredients. But number three, which I think is the most important one, community. The community that the people have here is going to keep them healthier and longer than what we have in the US.
That's a very good point. The US has this striking sense of individualism that can honestly become crippling in a lot of cases, right? A lot of people are definitely in it for themselves. And I'm not saying there aren't strong communities throughout the United States. There are, but it can only take you so far with what we have going on in our overarching system. I think one of the biggest things that can do a complete 180 in the United States is allowing our food to be of a higher quality while simultaneously being affordable. But apparently, according to our Lord and Savior who runs the country, affordability is just a liberal ideology that is too far-fetched and is ridiculous. Affordability apparently is ridiculous. So who am I to suggest such a wild thing? But I do think that would be cool. But of course, that would completely thwart the money from Big Pharma, and they would lose out on their customer base, because the whole point, right, is to get as many people sick or on the verge of death as possible so that those companies can rake in as much money as possible. Okay. And if there are too many healthy people in the United States, there are not enough people populating those hospitals, and Big Pharma gets mad because they can't buy their $billion houses and eat their hourly caviar and stuff like that. So I understand what's going on, man. It's sickening though, man. It's sickening because it's so cool for me to be able to watch these experiences from Americans that find these things that are a little strange and different in Europe, right? Because it allows me to identify what I want to do with my life. One of the biggest things that I'm so grateful for is being able to appreciate just relaxing, right? I was always work, and I still am to a degree, but I value my free time. Like, I value just chilling, right? I can go out somewhere by myself and just relax. I think that's very important. And that concept has not reached a lot of Americans. Now, it's either one way or the other way. Like, if for the Americans that don't work that hard, unfortunately, they're not in great places right now. For the Americans that are working very hard, they're in good places, but they can't enjoy what they've worked hard for, because that's just how the system's designed.
It's because the US is built off of isolation, not off community. So chain smoke your little cigarette, Ms. Granny, because you're probably still gonna live longer than half the people in the US anyway. 40-minute walk, no problem. 30-minute walk this way in the opposite direction. You know what? Let me walk off this meal I just had. In the US, if I look something up on my maps and it says it's a 20-minute drive in the convenience of my car, I'm like, nope, there's got to be a closer option. Why?
Damn.
I'll tell you why. Because there is so much to see here. There is so much to look at. There are always people outside. It is made for you to walk. There are so many things for you to stumble into or to accidentally find. And it is...
That's something that, okay, so I'm going to use her experience and give my own anecdotal experience about my time in Germany, right? Because that's like the place in Europe that I spent my most amount of time. That was like the whole reason that I even crossed the threshold of that damn continent. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I immediately noticed were how many people were outside enjoying themselves. I have never in my entire life seen so many people appreciate the use of parks as I had when I was in Europe. I was like, oh my God, like throughout Germany, all those parks when the weather was, nice, were populated to the max, right? To the max. You can go in the United States, right, on a bright sunny day, and those parks will look a little scarce, right? They'll look a little scarce. You'll see some people out, right? But not like people throughout Europe. Now, in Germany specifically, oh my gosh, it's like they maximized every ounce of like area in those parks out there. And it's crazy because I think because of that, those parks are so well put together. They look beautiful. They look absolutely stunning. And people are gathered together, spending time with each other, playing different types of sports, picnics. I've never seen so many freaking picnics in my entire life in one location. It's insane. It is literally insane. And the amount of people I saw eating outside during the work week was wild to me. Right? Absolutely insane. So she's cooking with these points, man.
It's just such a fun experience to walk. If you were driving it everywhere, you'd miss the entire point. Like the best part is what you get into when you're randomly walking around. Last observation for now. This one's kind of niche. The girls are not at the gym. Nope. The girls are not at the gym. The girls are walking. The girls are at bar. The girls are at yoga. The girls are at Pilates. They're doing a little 45, 50-minute class. They're getting in, they're getting out, and they're done. The girls are not lifting. You want to know why? Because when I went into the gym, there were 100 men for every one girl. And it was terrifying. It was actually my worst nightmare. It was my worst nightmare. But as a whole, overall, I'm loving Europe. Maybe I should move here. I don't live in the U.S. anymore. I don't live in America, but maybe I should give this more of a long-term go. As an American who has been in Spain.
That's cool. That is so cool. And I'm glad she was able to find and experience that. Because when I explain it to people who have never traveled in the United States, this seems like a foreign concept. And it seems so foreign, in fact, that I'm met with backlash every time. They're like, what? Things here aren't good enough for you? Huh? We have everything. We're the land of the free, home of the brave. Like, what are you talking about? We don't need that. We have everything that you could ever imagine out here. And I'm like, okay, all right, dude. Okay. How many times have you gone to the hospital in the last 3 weeks? Sir? How much did you have to spend on those hospital bills, sir? I'm sorry. Weren't you complaining about the cost of food recently? And the food's not even of high quality at all? Like, what are you talking about? What are we talking about? And it's crazy because I think that the U.S. government has this down to a science, right? Of course, these are things that anybody with a brain cell knows would like boost the morale of the people living in the United States. But it's at the expense of people who are getting hefty paychecks at the top, right? So why would you want to mess up your money? What you do is you convince the people who are being shorted that they're actually receiving an abundance of freedoms, and they're living the American dream. They're living their wildest dreams and blah blah blah, right? So they don't ask for more. And when they realize they actually do need more, they're like, well, why? You're being greedy. That's ridiculous. To save your hefty paycheck. It's unfortunate. That's why I tell people, travel. Figure out what you want truly in your life. I feel like no one truly will know what they want for themselves in this life if they don't travel at least one time and experience something different, because it'll either further cement your values or it'll change some things for you. And I think that's very important. Let's take a look at these comments really quick. The key is walkable cities. Absolutely. I think if we have more walkable cities in the United States, we will see a drastic decrease in obesity. Walkable cities, to me, is probably one of the biggest solutions we can come up with. Let's say we have smaller cities that we just create throughout the United States. There's a ton of surface area and areas that we can build up, right? Something like that. That would be amazing. And then, maybe using our train system and putting some monies into passenger travel, effective passenger travel, so it incentivizes people to get out there and maneuver a little bit more. And, that would effectively extend their lifespan. People in the US look exhausted all the time. Wait till you see the people in Korea. Good, googly moogly. Korea basically like America on steroids, bruh. Like, they found ways to perfect processes here in Korea. And because the processes are 20 times better, they move the goalpost 1,000 kilometers out and they half the time that they have to hit that goalpost. So people are crazy exhausted out here, and people are crazy exhausted in the United States already. So it's rough. It is rough. America is such an antisocial country. And I know there's gonna be some Americans in my comments saying, we're not antisocial. We're actually quite friendly. We have small talk all the time. It's fake. All right. It's fake. The whole thing's a farce, right? We do have small talk, but we never talk to you ever again. It's just to get you out of our faces, right? We want to have positive interactions to make sure that we don't die. There are so many mass killings and stabbings and shootings that we want to make sure that the person we're interacting with at least sounds friendly, right? At least feels friendly. So we're like, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Da, 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 da. Right? That bullshit. Now, for all my Nordic Europeans and stuff, y'all probably like, get out of my face. Stop. Why are you talking to me? I don't know you. I don't want to know you. But we're like, hey, are you going to blast us to the moon or not? Do I have to blast you to the moon or not? So, hello, how was your day going? Answer my damn question. That's why that's the real reason why we love small talk, right? It's just we're testing the water to make sure you're not fucking crazy. There, I said it.